Hey, welcome back to Milton Daily Homes. Chuck here. I have a question for you. So we're doing some video shooting with our team. What do you think is the best place in Milton to take shots? Is it Mill Pond? Is it maybe Town Hall? Is it the Velodrome? Is it the Escarpment? Like, what do you think is the most picturesque place to have as a background behind somebody? I'd be very interested. So let's do this. Let's talk about some homes. We got 35 in this list. There were 3 others on Ortis, but none of them were anything special. So we'll focus on this list, and not a lot to talk about, but there's a few. So this one on Farmstead, Unit 24, $598, $999. So inside, it's not bad. I mean, there's definitely nothing wrong with it. I don't think it shows amazingly well, but they are taking offers anytime. And so you've got this one here, and then just 2 doors away, you have this other one that listed the same day for $599, and you can see right away from the pictures, you got some wainscoting here, clearly playing at a different level. These guys are, photos, everything is just better with this one. They are holding back on offers. So it's interesting to see what will happen. Is somebody going to try and bully offer this one, see if they nibble on it, and then if not, they'll take the other one and kind of make that one look pretty like this. Obviously, the value is there for the finished basement. I would say that you're looking at, probably $10,000 to $15,000 in actual value for the finished basement. But here's the other thing: is that both of these have that big 4-structure building, the retirement home, basically right in very close proximity. So that can change the game for people too, because you feel like there's a bit of a fishbowl and you have people looking in your backyard. So these homes, they're called Main Street Towns, and so this is an end unit, 1,800 square feet. They're nice floor plans. I was really originally not a big fan of these because I thought, well, there's no backyard. But then the more you think about it, you go, okay, this is probably the cheapest way to get a double car garage home, period. And, and they have good layouts. They've got really, you've got about 200 square feet here to hang out. So for somebody who commutes, who, leaves at 7 in the morning, gets home at 7 p.m., I think this is kind of cool, because then you've just got your front lawn to mow. In this case, there's a bit of a side lawn too, and off you go. So this, I think, is a great deal. These were peaking. There were one version of this that I think was a little bit bigger, sold for $800,000 at its peak. Most of them were peaking out at like low 7s, and then we have this outlier for $800,000. But this price, to me, very good. I actually broke the record for this model last fall, and we sold for around this price. And it just shows you how quickly things went up after that. They are holding back on offers, and I think there is a chance for sure that they're going to get more than the $625,000. So 901 Hepburn, what was interesting is when the market kind of shifted a little bit, is we saw this model on a pie-shaped lot sell for $820,000. There was a smaller version with a smaller floor plan with a finished basement not far from here that sold for $8,000. But now Zielinski is sitting there at $769,000. There's been some other sales that I think would lead me to believe that $650,000 is this home worth more than that, for sure, even with market changes. But it's funny. It's a really funny time right now. I was surprised Zielinski didn't sell. We had a home on Zielinski and managed to sneak out a pretty good price on that one. But these semis, pretty much every price range now is difficult, because that's the effect of having 3 times as much inventory that we're used to. It changes supply and demand in a big, big way. So this one on Beatty is the same model that's holding back on offers, different elevation, but holding back on offers on 4th line for $699,000. This one's taking offers anytime. There was a point earlier this year where you could count on pretty much, if this home was nice, it was going for $850,000. Now $789 offers anytime. So it's I think it's pretty well kept. Last time I saw it, at least, it was for sale a few years ago. And the checkerboard in the kitchen is a little bit bold, but it actually, I thought, looked pretty good in person. There's also a finished basement. You're about 1,900 square feet, plus what looks like a nice finished basement too. So this one's good. I think the value is definitely there at $789. Where it'll be a month from now, who knows? But for what it is and what else is sold detached for that price in the last 2 weeks, it's looking good. So this one on Diceway, $869, used to be guaranteed you get over 9s. I know I'm talking about the good old days, but it's just a good reframe because I think some people are still, even when they're doing their comparisons, so you've got an agent that'll sit down with you, especially if they're not in the area. What they'll do, or if they don't do a lot of business, they're going to look back and go, oh, well, 30 or 60 days from now, we have this sale, this sale, this sale. It's almost like I can't even give someone information if it's longer than like 3 weeks at this point, because it's just so different now versus before. And there's holes in information. It's like, I think it's this, but I'm not really sure. This one says 2080 square feet. It's 2051. It's a plan. What number is this? Plan 4. And so to see 869, to see a bunch of double car garages, which will put pressure on something like this on Vickerman, 2,200 square feet, but only a single car garage. And then you've got this one on Cochrane, 2,300 square feet with the double garage. So it's like we've started to see that things are now crossing below 9s with the doubles, which is putting pressure on the singles. And you got this one here at $949. It's nice. It's getting a lot more challenging. They put in the extras, priced $120K lower than the last sale of the same model. That's a little bit, you got to be careful. So the last model could have sold 3 months ago. Could have had a lot more different features. I know what's trying to happen here, but again, 2,400 square feet with a finished basement. Now you've got this one here for $50,000 less, 23, and it's newer. It's on a smaller lot. I could put a basement in for less than 50 grand. So this one on McLaren is really, really interesting because you have essentially like 3 townhouses mashed together. So it's a multiplex. It uses the term in the description, legal non-conforming. So what that means is it was built at some point when I guess they didn't have to go through the application and zoning, and so it was there. Then they made the zoning rules, so they said, okay, we'll let you have that because there weren't rules around, but now it's not conforming with the zoning plan. And so you could have, like, I think about the user of this property could be somebody who like, here's a good example. So you have a family in the middle, you have both parents on either side. So that would be kind of interesting. It depends how much you want your in-laws around. You could have 3 high school friends who really, if you pitched in on this, so 1.129, divide that by 3, and it's not really even $400,000. What are you going to buy in Milton for that kind of price? You could almost set up a little arrangement where it's like, okay, well, one person does the driveway shoveling, another person does, this maintenance or whatever. So there's a lot of very out of the box things that you can do on something like this. You could have yourself plus, your best friend, and they could rent out the 3rd unit, split the rental cost, buy this one down the middle. It's very interesting, but even for $400,000 a door, that looks pretty good for investors. If I did the numbers on this, I bet that this one would actually be one of the better investment properties that we would see in all of Milton right now. Now, finally, Cusick Circle. It seems like anytime this home lists, it's just an absolute, I don't know what happens behind the scenes, but the prices just go up and down and sideways. So this one, I don't recall exactly all the numbers, but I think they put it at 1.1 million. I guess nothing happened. They were down as low as $9.99. And then to see this come out at 1.4, it's 3,000 square feet. It has a basement, it has a pool. That's not worth 1.4, especially given what's been going on the last couple weeks. I just don't get it. I don't understand. And the kitchen's kind of small. I mean, it's a decent enough house, but it's just going to sit there at 1.4, I think, anyway. It's the $9.99 to 1.4. I don't know. There we have it. That's the list. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you tomorrow with more Milton Daily Homes. That's 3 days in a row. Nice.